Durban's International Convention Centre is hosting the latest installment of the SA Sports Awards. Awards up for grabs include the Sportsman of the Year, Sportswoman of the Year, as well as accolades for federations, administrators and journalists. ENCA's sports editor Vata Ngomeni is at the gala event and joins us live. I hear he has a special guest with him. Vata, good evening to you.
Evening to you, Nicole. Let me get straight into it. It is the SA Sports Awards, recognition of excellence. And I've got a surprise guest with me, Springbok captain Siya Kolisi. Siya, first of all, wonderful to be out and about.
Yes, it's very good to be out and be dressed in a suit. I think we haven't dressed up since last week. Yeah, but yeah, it's amazing and to see all the other sportsmen and sportswomen here. I think it's a great opportunity to connect with people outside obviously rugby, and also to see how people have done and how they cope during COVID and what the challenges are in different sports and how we can talk and try and help each other out going forward.
Huge nominations for you in People's Choice for Sports Star of the Year, Sports Star of the Year, and obviously Rugby Saru being part of Federation of the Year. I mean, worthy recognition of that World Cup win in 2019, beating the British and Irish Lions and remaining the number one team in the world.
Yeah, I think we are really honoured and grateful as the Springbok team and as players as well. You know, that means when your team is doing well, your individual goals start coming through. It's always hard being nominated as the only player in your team, you know, in a team sport. But we're grateful and we're up against tough competition. People have done great things, but yeah, at the end of the day, you know, being recognized is an amazing thing, and it encourages players and organizations to keep on working, to let them know that whatever they're doing is working. And even those that are not recognized, that means they're probably getting closer and closer. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight.
Now, still one more question, just for Rachel. You've done a lot with the Siya Kolisi Foundation, especially during the time of... the Kolisi Foundation. Thank you very much, Siya, for correcting me there. Especially during the time of COVID. And we know that these awards could not be held over the last 2 years, with a lot of athletes, you know, really suffering. Just tell us a little bit more about how you guys were out there in the communities and helping out.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that we were able to even make the red carpet this year, because the last time we were here, we were so late we couldn't even make it. But it's been an incredible 2 years for us, and being able to launch our Kolisi Foundation and to spend some time, you know, we traveled over 18,000 kilometers and got to spend some time in some of the most incredible communities around during COVID, and it was just incredible to hear about some of the big needs in some of the communities, and really helped us establish the foundation and really what we wanted to address in South Africa. So we're so grateful for the time, and as Siya mentioned, it's so great to be out again and to be able to connect with people again, and it's not something I think any of us should take for granted.
No, thank you very much, Rachel, and Siya, and all the best for tonight. As you say, it's a team effort, and hopefully you know, the team come up.
Thank you. Sabona man, sabona long silapa mo. Kuseko chika. I think bonga abantu banomentiwelo benza kakhe kunyaka okulana kunyaka pheleyo. And yeah, just being here in Durban kakhulu for the mnane ne family yam no teammates. So yeah, baswinile zabayibonus.
Again, ladies and gents, humble as ever, Springbok captain Siya Kolisi is saying that it's not about himself, it is about the team. He's just happy to be out here celebrating the excellence of South African sportsmen and sportswomen. Nicole?
But Vata, whilst we still have you, I must say you look rather dashing out there. Quickly talk to me, please, about some of the nominees. And let's quickly touch on the Sportsman of the Year. We've got Greg Minnaar, Matthew Sates, as well as Magazole Mapimpi. What do you make of that lovely selection there?
I think, you know, Nicole, when you speak about, I think, the excellent sportsmen and women that have done well for this country over the last 2 years, especially in the time of COVID. You know, the names of a Siya Kolisi, a Ntando Mahlangu, you know, and again, you look at, you think of a Brad Binder, and then you go on, you know, you've got the Tatiana Schoonmaker who did so well at the Olympics. So there are a few names that really stand out and say to you, you know, these are the people who flew the flag exceptionally high for the country. And again, Nicole, I think it's a reminder, let me remind the viewers again that this was not just about the last year, it's actually the last 2 years, starting from the end of 2019 up until the 31st of August in 2021. So, and a lot has happened in that time. So it is extremely important that those athletes get celebrated.
When you speak about Tatiana Buduvata, in terms of the female nominations as well, she appears there, as well as Bianca Buitendag and Lizelle Lee. Once again, same as the guys, these are all three of them exceptional ladies, exceptional athletes.
No doubt about it. I think, Nicole, the Olympics last year really highlighted, the strength of women within this country. You speak of Tatiana, again, did well, world record, gold medal, silver medal. And then again, Bianca surprised the whole world, not just South Africa, by winning that bronze medal in the surfing. And then Lizelle Lee, again, one of the leading players in the world when it comes to cricket. So, again, I think South Africa is blessed with a lot of talent, and the women just keep on making sure that the flag of this country is flown up high. So three strong contenders. I would hate to be the one who chooses who the ultimate winner is, but I've got a sneaky suspicion that a world record and a gold medal at the Olympics could just emerge victorious.
But Vata, looking at the team of the year, I think it's no surprise that the Springboks appear there. The netball ladies as well, the Spar Proteas. I mean, Masasilia, I think we've talked to her on numerous occasions in 2021, and she really has done a lot in terms of netball administration, and she always talks about doing her best to try and make the sport professional. Sadly, there we do have the SA men's 100 meter who've lost gold due to the doping issue with Tando, where he did test positive, and he also went ahead and confirmed that indeed, he agreed that yes, he definitely was positive, which is quite sad. I mean, that team loses out, but also what does that just say for sport in general, in terms of the way that we should be conducting ourselves, so that when events like this evening come, we don't have our colleagues, our peers who are now missing out because of something like this.
Very sad, Nicole, that in the last sort of 2 weeks, the doping scandal came out with the South African men's relay team. All of us were excited when they won, the world relays, and they came back with that gold. And one athlete, has now cost the team and the country heavily. And for them not to be celebrated at these awards is a sad indictment. But then again, a warning to any sportsman and sportswoman out there who is even thinking of indulging in using banned substances, not to do so, because the cost is dire, not just to themselves as an individual, but I think the country itself, as we've seen now with this team. But I think more than anything, Nicole, you mentioned our netball team, our Spar Proteas side that has done exceptionally well, remaining in the top 5 in the world, again, punching way above their weight when they play against the likes of New Zealand, Australia, but they are the queens of the African continent. They dominate this continent. But more importantly, one looks to next year, where South Africa hosts the 2023 Netball World Cup, and hopefully by the time we get to that World Cup, this team will want to go one step further than they did at the last World Cup, and make sure that they do medal, they do stand on that podium, and great strides that they've made. And then you speak of the Springbok team. What more can you say about this side, led by Siya Kolisi, the first black man to lift the Webb Ellis Trophy in the history of the game of rugby. And this very same individual, led that team the 2nd of November, a day that will live forever in the minds and hearts of all South Africans, of 2019 in Tokyo, when they won South Africa won their 3rd World Cup. But I think more than anything, they went on, after not playing for almost 20 months, Nicole, to win a British and Irish Lions series they had no business winning. They had lost the first test. History had said that no team has ever won or has ever lost the first test and gone on to win the series. And they went and did that back-to-back series victories over the British and Irish Lions, and they remain the number 1 team in the world. So ultimately, there are 2 teams up for this prize. And again, Nicole, I think anything that shimmers with gold could just get you over the line and win you this major award.
Durban as well, Putvata. I mean, it's lovely that they are hosting these awards, you know, in the discussion that you had with Sia Kolisi as well as Rachel earlier. I mean, you guys touched on them being in a suit and being out and about, especially with what we've had with COVID and people being indoors for such a long time. However, Durban was supposed to be hosting a bigger event, also being the 2022 Commonwealth Games, which has moved to Birmingham.
No, extremely sad, Nicole, because South Africa has been crying for major sporting events. And I think had South Africa been able to host the 2022 Commonwealth Games, they would have laid the foundation for South Africa eventually putting a bid to host the Summer Olympics. And it's very sad that, you know, we sit in Durban 4 months out to what would have been, to me, or 5 months out to what would have been a wonderful Commonwealth Games hosted for the first time on the African continent. And again, due to the government not being able to give their guarantees, you know, the whole plan fell apart. After winning the bid and after all the celebrations in Glasgow, when everyone was looking forward, you know, to the Commonwealth Games coming to Durban and to South Africa and to the African continent. But then again, it is what it is. And I think these are lessons learned. And yesterday, the DDG of Sport did say so, that it is very unfortunate that, but however, going forward, they hope to be using the same template again to bid for the FIFA Women's World Cup, and the Cricket World Cup is also coming up. So again, I think what's important, Nicole, is that lessons have to be learned by government and all stakeholders when it comes to such events, and us being able to put together a concrete plan, one that is sustainable and affordable as well.
Thank you so much for that. We're going to catch up again with you later. That was ENCA's sport editor, Vatango Beni. Not every day I get to have a crossing with my boss. And as you heard, with all of the noise happening there in Durban, it would be great to see who all those stars are that people are screaming at. But we'll catch up with him again later. We'll have more sport for you. Anli Hattung is with you shortly with everything in your news and more. Stay with us.